Download the AllStar app. Make your picks for UFC fights, challenge your friends, level up and win prizes. Link in description. Get it now.
You have already arrived in Mexico City.
Yep. Yeah,
How's
sure
the
have,
first
yeah.
couple of days?
It's good. Everybody said to me I need to go early for the climate and to get acclimated to the altitude, but I've been sleeping in an altitude tent for the last 7 weeks, so it's not really hit me. The only thing that's hit me is like the air's a little bit dry, so like my lips and my like when you're training, you need to drink a little bit more water than usual. But other than that, feeling fantastic.
Sounds good. And sleeping in the altitude tent, like how was that for the past how many weeks you've been doing it?
Horrific. The altitude tent, it wasn't fun whatsoever. Um, the noise that it makes and the kind of up and down noise is like shh, shh, but needs must. I was managed to get 6 to 7 hours in it every night, so I'm feeling the benefits now. So getting some good night's sleep here now.
Yeah, perfect, man. And with the last fight with Terrence McKinney, I mean, that was a fight that everybody had marked on their calendar. I mean, it was going to be a crazy fight, and it says that you had visa issues, and that pulled you out of the fight. Take us through all of that.
Yeah, so the visa issues, the visa was like underway, and unfortunately, one of the parts of the document that I needed from the police back home was hacked by some hackers, so it put it off by about 5 days, 5, 10 days. So then it was just something that was kind of not really happening. So by the time I got my visa, anyway, it was like 5 days after the fight, so there was absolutely no way the fight was going to happen. So I cut all that weight for nothing, but it's not wasted. But I'm sure I'll get that fight back eventually.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you leveled up with that camp. You know what I mean? Because you're always in camp with the highest, most talented people at American Top Team. So, what do you think about that camp? Not this camp that prepared you for Manuel Torres, but the camp for Terrence McKinney. Like, how much did you improve in that one?
Oh, mate, every time I go to American Top Team, it's like he's in Dragon Ball Z when the guy goes in the chamber and then he comes back out and he's like light years above everybody else. That's what I felt like, and I'm in the best gym in the world, surrounded by the best people in the world. So there's only good things to come of that.
And Manuel Torres, man, this guy, he doesn't really fight too often, but when he does fight, he's out there, slinging hard. What do you think of him in the matchup?
The matchup's great for me, to be honest. There's a lot of areas I can expose. He's wild, he's crazy. He's called El Loco because that means he's crazy. So I'm looking forward to just absolutely outschooling him. They call me the problem for a reason. So I'm pretty much everybody's. I'm the kryptonite for most fighters. So looking forward to it. He poses a threat with his power and his kind of craziness and his unorthodox striking. So that brings out the best in me.
Definitely. Do you see some similarities in him from your past two opponents, with like Ashmus and Morales?
Maybe with Morales, no, Ashmus, sorry. The power, everybody's got power with those 4 ounce gloves on. So just need to be wary in the first couple minutes. Make sure I got my hands up. Don't do anything stupid. So, but as I can almost imagine, he's going to come out the gate pretty hard.
Do you feel in the last two fights, you're in 2023, you become more tactical inside that octagon compared to like in the past?
To be honest, my first fight, the stage itself got to me. The pressure that I had, the documentary that was filmed about me, the stress of that. My second fight, I was just enjoying the moment. And the third fight, I'm just going to come out my skin. I just feel slowly but surely I'm getting better. Slowly but surely it's becoming more the same thing that I do every single day. So practice makes perfect, as they say. So the more I fight, the better I get, and the better opponents I fight, the better I'll get again.
You mentioned you were filming a documentary and you had pressure from the documentary. Ilia Topuria, he's gonna fight for the featherweight title, and he has a documentary that he's filming at the same time. You know what I mean? Could you imagine being in that like pressure cooker?
Yeah. Good pressure. Pressure makes diamonds. But like everybody deals with it slightly different. A lot of people would just not want that. Like Alexander Volkanovski doesn't want that in his camp. That's just because type of person he is, and everybody's got their own ways that they want to build things, and it'll be good for him to look back on it.
Yeah, win or lose, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, with training camp, right? So you did pretty much 2 training camps back to back. The second one, did you learn anything from the first training camp that you shifted to the second one? I know it's different opponents, but I'm pretty sure there was training methods and things like that.
That I trained too hard.
Oh,
Bring the volume down a little bit. Maybe have more specific training. I don't need to beat the body up too much because I've had that volume through my years of training. So, taking this camp and last camp, I took a Wednesday night off and a Saturday night off. So I was only training twice a week, twice a day for 4 days, and then I had a full day rest on Sunday. So that was dramatically better for especially my sparring. I've seen a lot of gains in that.
yeah. It seems like overtraining is still an issue for a lot of fighters.
Yeah, it's how you adapt and it's how you become better as a person. Overtraining, whether it be bodybuilding, whether it be MMA, you need to feel the burn, you need to feel the grind.
In this fight against Torres, you said you're gonna come out your skin. What does that look like? What does coming out your skin look like?
It just means like see my full skill set, make myself look good, get a finish in front of the hostile crowd. I play off that. I love that. That's the sort of stuff that gets me hard. But it's just like it's exciting. I'm in Mexico City right now, putting in the work, doing what I need to do, and there's no stone left unturned. So, like I keep saying this, but only good things come to things that only good things come of what I've done. Like I've done everything. Like I can't walk out there and say I didn't train hard enough because I fucking did everything I possibly could. There's not one session skipped, not one rep skipped, not one sprint skipped. Like I've done it all. If anything, people are trying to hold me back.
Do you remember the last time they went to Mexico City? How the crowd reacted in the main event? Did you see
Oh
that?
yeah, when the eye poke. Yeah,
Yeah.
what happened? Were they
Yeah, the
booing
crowd
or?
just started throwing things. You know what I mean? They had the UFC commentators were under the desk because they were just throwing shit from the crowd. And, when the fighters walked out, they're throwing shit at them. You know what I mean? It was pretty wild scene, Like, I don't think we've ever seen that in the UFC except for in Mexico City.
Oh, yeah, we'll probably get that from me. They'll probably learn from that as well. So they'll probably have some stuff in play.
For sure. But yeah, man, it's I think it's gonna be an incredible environment for you to be in, man, to fight in, especially
Hostile,
like
being in the war, being up front on the front line. So I'm looking forward to it.
And no, I was watching another interview that you did, and you mentioned how Mike Brown came up to you after one of your fights, and or ahead of
Yeah,
one
my
of your
last
fights.
fight. Yeah. So through the whole camp, I'd said that I'm going to get fight of the night or knockout of the night, and he's like, mate, you don't want fight of the night because then that means it's like an even match. You want to blow this guy out of the water. You want to have him not touch you. You want to have like a 29, a 30-29 scorecard or a 30-28. You want to school this guy. So that really hit home with me. So I'm getting better. Like I'm learning. I'm peaking. I'm getting to the point where I know where I'm peaking. And then in the next couple of years, I'll be a complete fighter. And the way that my brain works, I'm always learning, and I'll always be a student of the game. So I'm really excited for fights to come with the UFC because I've got so much more to offer.
On the mental side of the game, do you just get get conversations with your coaches and maybe some of your fellow fighters? Do you go to other people and talk to them?
Obviously, there's like always the doubts in your mind, that negative thought process is just the kind of the chimp in your head. The kind of, there's a book called the Chimp Paradox. Like, it talks about, like, it pretty much says that the voice in your head is like your chimp. You're like, I'm trying to think of kind of an analogy that would use, like, your primal state. It always thinks the worst. It thinks, well, what happens if I lose? Maybe I'll only have this money, or when I win, but you always go back to the negative comment. So I know when I'm thinking negatively, and I try and outweigh that with training hard, putting on a good performance in training, doing everything I possibly can, not missing sessions. Like I said before, like, if for whatever reason Manuel beats me, which he won't, it'll be because he's better than me, not because I haven't trained hard enough or he got lucky. That's the only way that this guy can beat me, is if he gets lucky or he's better than me, and I don't think he's better than me. So we're in a fight at the end of the day. So especially those 4-ounce gloves are pretty fucking deadly. So just need to make sure I'm cautious, and I've done everything I possibly can. There's no stone left unturned. I've never ever walked out to the cage and felt that I've not been prepared. So ready to showcase my skills once again.
Yeah, you mentioned the 4-ounce gloves and how dangerous they are. Have you ever been, in a fight and been punched by somebody in those 4-ounce gloves and said, like, oh, that's not that bad?
Yeah, a couple of times when I was low level pro. Like, I thought, if that's all he's got, he's in for a long night. But not in the UFC. Pretty much everybody can punch.
Yeah. People are cracking out there, huh? You could hear it.
Fuck. Yeah, for sure, especially in the Apex.
Yeah. Remember when they first started the Apex, and everybody, that was kind of new to us, like the sound of the leather hitting the face,
and the shin bones bashing off each other.
That gave me another level of respect for fighters. You know what I mean?
And that also told me, well, that's why I'm so sore the next day.
And fight week's coming up in a couple of days. It's going to start officially. Do you have rituals during fight week that you have to go through? Do you have, like, some people take certain things with them all the time during fight week? Is that anything?
I've only got my mother's pendant. Obviously, my mum died in 2014. I have her fingerprint, her wedding ring, and I also have my daughter's fingerprint around my neck. That's pretty much the only thing that I carry. It's not anything special as such, but it definitely gives me a little bit of strength throughout fight week when I'm only eating meat and veg and feeling like shit. So, and that's why I do MMA, because of my mum. So, hopefully I get the mic this time. Well, I will get the mic this time, and I'll dedicate these fights to her, because that's 2 fights in a row I haven't had the mic afterwards. So, I'm going to dedicate all these fights to her.
Definitely, man. And I always see you before you enter the octagon. You kiss your necklace before you take it off.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah,
Kiss my family before I go to war.
There you go, man. There you go, man. I can't wait to see you fight again, man. I know every fight you become better, dude. I've noticed that. And this one, like you said, come out the skin, and let's see what you can do in front of that crowd. And you will definitely get the mic, man. That crowd they're going to want you to speak to them.
Don't blink. Don't blink. It's going to be over fast.